This takes us to items needing individual consideration. And the first one is to consider adopting a resolution declaring the Japanese beetle to be a public nuisance and direct staff to coordinate with industry to take emergency action to quarantine, control, and/or eradicate the invasive pest. And we have David Schwenke, Assistant County Attorney, to present. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Commissioners. Madam Chair, my name is David Schwenke. I'm an Assistant County Attorney. Before you is a resolution to declare the Japanese beetle to be a public nuisance. As stated in the title, this would also direct staff to coordinate with industry to take emergency action to quarantine, control, and/or eradicate the pest. Last year, we discovered a population of the Japanese beetle in Mesa County. It was a small population, but if it's allowed to grow, it could spread across the county. Just for some background, the Japanese beetle is an invasive insect that causes around $460 million worth of damage nationally each year. It likes to eat grapes, peaches, nectarines, plums, vegetables, sweet corn, deciduous trees, and irrigated turf grass. All of these plants and trees are grown here on the western slope of Colorado and in Mesa County. My understanding from staff is that we need to act now to control this infestation so that the Japanese beetle does not affect our growers. Speaking of staff, I know we do have a public information video that's posted to our website on mesacounty.us. I know it wasn't on the home screen, but if you search Japanese beetle, it does come up as a March 2nd post. CRS 354121 allows you to declare a pest to be a public nuisance. I know that the language in the findings section of the resolution, especially the second findings, seems more like a recital than an actual finding. That said, Mr. Starr and I conferred, and we agree that all of these are findings that this board would need to make under the statute to find that the Japanese beetle is a public nuisance. So if the board or the public have any questions, I will do my best to answer them.
Okay, do either of you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
We've had quite a few briefings on this. Thank you. Anyone from the audience have any comments on this item? I think there might be a couple of you here who want to say something. Just come on up and state your name into the record. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. When you see the yellow light flash, you have 2 minutes left. And then, no, you have 1 minute left when you see the yellow one, and then it turns red. You have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Mona Dyer. I represent Bookcliff Gardens, a nursery here in Grand Junction. I would encourage you to consider taking quick action to get the Japanese beetle under control. It's important to make this happen before the population has a chance to establish itself into a great big problem. The pest could destroy Mesa County's fruit industry. In addition, the lovely picture that we see of the courthouse here, all of the plants that are within that landscape would be endangered, just eaten to a nub. And we all enjoy pretty yards. If the Japanese beetle is allowed to take off, that will be a thing of the past here in the valley. Time is of the essence. The life cycle of this particular pest is upon us. They will very soon start to nibbling at the grassroots, and then shortly thereafter, they will start to emerge and breed and lay more eggs, and then we will really have a problem. So I really encourage some sort of action that helps not only get it under control while it's a small problem, but encourage education, encourage some sort of incentive for people here in the valley, not just in the hot zone, but beyond, to be able to get it under control before it becomes a really big deal. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Dyer. Anyone else have any comments on this item?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Tom Sames. We've spoken before about this issue. I just want to commend you that you're taking the bull by the horns. All the growers appreciate everything you're doing. So we hope to continue and get this resolved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sains. Anyone else want to speak on this item?
Good morning, commissioners. My name is Mel or Melissa Schreiner. I am the CSU Extension entomologist in the Tri-River area. I've been involved in the detection of this beetle. I also worked on this beetle in graduate school under our state entomologist, Dr. Whitney Cranshaw, while it was establishing on the Front Range. I personally have seen the devastation that this beetle can cause at scale. It impacts landscape plants, and if it is left to fester and become established, it is likely to move into our agricultural sector here in Mesa County. And our area in the Grand Valley is one of the only areas that has the data to support that we have actually successfully eradicated this beetle before in Palisade. There was a lot of effort and time and money spent to get that accomplished. And we can consider ourselves lucky over the last several years. We have not had to deal with this. And I want you to know I have, with my entomology team, we have tried very hard to push education on this beetle. We are trying to work even with agents on the Front Range to figure out how we can have a conversation statewide about the movement of plant material from an area where we have an infestation of this beetle into areas where we do not have an infestation. So I want to commend you as well for stepping up and hearing your stakeholders and getting a plan in place. Please know CSU Extension is here to provide education and support to Mesa County and the citizens and to our stakeholders here involved in ag. So I greatly appreciate the time to come and present this. And we're very much proud to be a part of this collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schreiner. Anyone else have comments on this item?
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Vargo, small fruit grower here in the Valley. And just to reiterate what the young lady said, thanks for your interest and appreciate your attention. Couple of things that are rocking around in my mind is, number one, does this thing, and maybe it's been already addressed, does this pest or can it spread through the compost facility? Should we take materials that are contaminated there for composting and then redistribute them? Is that a place where we can unwittingly get blindsided? And then my second point is, boy, you know how people are. You start telling them that you've got to do something. You got to wear a mask. So it may be a good idea, but people don't want to do it. So you've got your work cut out for you, trying to get buy-in and kind of get that esprit de corps that we're all in this together and try to resolve the issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Argo. Anyone else have comments? No one else has comments on this item? Okay, I'll bring it back to the board for discussion and a motion. Do you have any comments about this?
Yes, I do. First and foremost, I want to thank our farmers, CSU Extension, Mesa County Weed and Pest Control, the Colorado Agriculture Department. Each and every one of you guys have worked so hard to alert us and monitor this concerning and urgent matter. The economic impact of this insect cannot be understated. The value of peaches alone is 14 million per year. Wineries, vineyards are in the 40 million mark. And our multi-connected industry affects more than just meets the eye. Agriculture tourism tops 22 million annually, not to mention the value of the interconnected surrounding agriculture community, horticulture, lawns, and all the peripheral industries. This could affect many woven layers in our fabric of our community. And we are asking property owners for their consent to treat, especially in that hot zone. In a day and age when government can often move at a snail's pace, I can assure you this will not happen on my watch. It's all hands on deck to make sure Mesa County is the hard stop for this species. And we hear you, we're with you, and we've beaten this one once before in Mesa County in Palisade, and we will do it again. So thank you all for coming and sharing your concerns. Mesa County is responsive to our community, and I just applaud you for your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis?
Yeah, and I'll just add, I think the greatest risk is that Mesa County becomes a quarantine area and that somehow our Palisade peaches get blacklisted. And yeah, we're not going to let that happen. We'll throw the kitchen sink at it and might be more appropriate to throw the farmhouse sink at this one. So, but our approach will be aggressive. It'll also be cooperative and be mindful of private property, which is going to be our biggest struggle, is getting people to treat their lawns. I don't see that they have much of an option. If it is in their lawn, it's either going to kill it, they're either going to have to dry it out, or they're going to have to treat. So one way or another, we're going to try to get buy-in on this. And I appreciate everybody coming this morning. So thank you.
Thank you. You both said everything I had on my list. To the question about whether or not this will be a problem if it goes into our compost facility, I will check into that. I'm not sure what we need to be aware of for that. but
Yeah, I
that's a good
can
point.
state that our compost facility, the heat that generates when we compost is enough to kill
Kill
all
it.
pathogens.
Okay.
So I doubt, but
Great.
we will get an exact answer to that question.
Thanks. That's a good question. Thank you. With no other comments, I'll entertain a motion to approve item 1 is entered into the record.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? She
Aye.
wanted to motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Motion carries 3-0.